Well, that's excellent. So do you want to go on to trades or free agency? Let's do trades.
I don't care.
You don't care, eh? Let's take a look at some of the trades. So first trade we've got to look at, because we've already sort of alluded to it, is Montreal flips Alexander Romanov and I think a third, 13th. Like the 98th overall.
No, didn't they?
No, they flip Romanov and a pick to get the 13th.
To get the 13th pick and then flip the 13th pick.
Yeah. To the New York Islanders.
Correct.
And then, which I was like, wow.
Yeah.
And then they flipped the 13th and another pick for Kirby Dach. And I was like, oh, that's what we did with that.
Yep.
Well, that's quite the wheeling and dealing, no?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, tell me what you think about it.
I hate this trade.
Tell me why.
I hate it.
Okay, tell me why.
I hate this trade. Like, you don't trade a young defenseman.
Yeah?
You don't. What happened the last time that the Canadians traded a promising young Russian defenseman for an underachieving forward? What happened the last time they did that?
Gee, I don't know. There's two Stanley Cups involved.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that Romanov is as good as Sergachev, but when Romanov hits you, like,
you stay hit.
Well, your whole family feels it. You know what I mean? Like that guy, and he loved, like, I was talking to some of Montreal guys. He loved playing there. He'd be out 20 minutes early every practice.
I can tell you that.
He loved playing there. He was into it. He wanted to make it. He wanted to be part of the solution.
Yeah.
He was a good player. He played hard. He hit. He did, and he had his warts, whatever, but I hate this trade. I hate it, and I'm going to say it right now. I hate it, and I think it's going to be a disaster.
I think, and this is just my little conspiracy theory brain coming in on this, I think that this was a little bit of getting rid of Bergevin's pet project.
Yeah, well, okay, then you throw then that is the textbook definition of throwing the baby out with the bathwater.
I would agree with you. So I jumped around natural stat trick on Kirby Dach.
Yeah.
And I didn't find anything redeeming.
No, he's been not good.
No, but I'm saying I started off with broad.
Yeah.
Like shot share, Corsi share, expected goals for percentage, stuff like that.
Right.
And then I got more and more specific, individual scoring chances created, stuff like that. Like I got more and more specific, and I couldn't find anything in publicly available data.
Yeah.
Now they have AI machine learning data that they collect from Sportlogic and Clearsight Analytics.
Sure they do. Yeah.
No, every team, almost every team in the NHL is.
Don't know what you're talking about.
My point is that I couldn't find anything redeeming on Kirby Dach.
Right.
Now, does that mean that Kirby Dach has not become a good player?
He's big and not physical. He doesn't win draws. He hasn't progressed. He hasn't developed. He's the poster child for being put into an NHL situation way too early before he was able to handle it. Yeah. And you know what? If this is Martin St. Louis' quest, and this is why he's in Montreal, well, he's
follow that star, no matter how hopeless, no matter how far. Don Quixote.
Yeah, I know.
The man of La Mancha.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
I know every word of the song.
Yeah,
You want me to continue?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
I do not.
You had this look on your face that said, please go on.
I did, eh? Yeah.
No, you didn't.
Wow.
You had this look on your face like I'm about to strangle you and you'll never sing again. But anyways.
Wow, you just gave me a good idea. Anywho. I'm gonna bring some dental floss to the next podcast.
So up next, Garrett. We're talking about Garrett Sparks. No, I'm going to Garrett you.
So anyhow, like if this is why they brought Martin St. Louis in and he can do it, then great, good on him. But
they trust their development.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's what they're saying. What they're saying is that they trust their ability to rehab a player.
They do? Well, like, but what evidence do they have? I mean, they've hired some good people.
Cole Caulfield getting one goal before the year and then being like third in rookie scoring by the end of the year, right?
Okay, yeah. But that's just
doing that in like 2 months.
Yeah, but that's just like, that's like just like go out and play.
I know.
You know what I
no,
mean?
It's, you know what? It's like the Francois Allaire thing,
It's
right?
like when Barry Melrose had Steven Stamkos, and then when Barry Melrose left, Steven Stamkos was really good in his rookie year.
Yeah.
I just
It's Francois Allaire, right? Dined out on training Patrick Waugh,
right.
for his entire career.
Oh, he had a lot of age, Gary. He had some good. I mean, Waugh was a crown jewel, but anyways, I hate this trade. I hate it, and I'm not gonna pretend I like it.
Yeah.
When I don't, I think it's a bad trade, and I think it's not gonna end well.
The bottom line for the Montreal Canadiens is
I stand to totally be corrected, and I'll eat my words if he ends up being a really good player, but.
I think that he could wind up being a good player, but it's gonna take some doing. But the bottom line with this trade is that Romanov is a left shot defenseman.
Yep.
That is currently good.
Yep.
Not currently great.
Right.
And may or may not develop into great.
May and may not develop into great, but may develop into Vladimir Konstantinov, which is really damn good.
But he is one of like 3 or 4 left shot defensemen that the Montreal Canadiens have in their organization.
Right, they're stocked, and they've got guys coming up.
And so, do you turn around and like if Jordan Harris, for example, seems pretty set to be an excellent left shot defenseman.
Yeah,
looked excellent last year in the few games that he played, but he'd be a harder sell. Hey, Jordan Harris for your 13th overall, get bent.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so you got to turn around and you say, well, how much do I like Jordan Harrison and Alexander Romanov? Maybe you like them the same, maybe even like Romanov a little bit more. But at the end of the day, if that's the move you make, then that's the move you make. And I see Romanov as very good. I like him. I've written a lot of articles about him this year and the little subtleties that he's added to his game. He used to just hit people.
Yeah.
Now he leads with a stick and hits.
Yeah.
And so even when he misses the hit, he knocks the puck off the stick a lot. Like he's getting smarter. Martin St. Louis opened him up a lot offensively, which he was very good offensively when he joined the Montreal Canadiens.
Right.
And then, certain directions of the team said, no, we don't like offensive flair from really anybody.
We hate goals.
We hate goals on this team. For and against. So I like Romanov. I wouldn't disagree with anything you're saying on Romanov. I guess my point is that I don't think that they're any more certain that Romanov will become a top 4 defenseman than they are that Jordan Harris becomes a top 4 defenseman, than they are that Jaden Struble becomes a top 4 defenseman, than they are that Barron becomes a
Justin
Barron becomes a top 4. You know,
I mean, Caden Gooley, they know is going to be a top 4 defenseman. Caden Gooley is going to be a top pairing defenseman. But even
how did I forget Caden Gooley?
Even if like Romanov is in your 5-6, and he plays 18 minutes a game and he plays physical and plays shutdown and stuff like that. Like, I just don't see the value.
I know.
I don't see trading that value. I don't see it.
This is always the joke.
For what you're getting back. For what you're getting back, I don't see it.
This is always the joke with NHL teams, which is when a prospect becomes expendable because they think that they have another prospect of that caliber. It's like, oh, well, we've got a blue chip defensive prospect. And I'm now thinking about the Sergachev trade, and they felt that Noah Juleson was a blue chip defensive prospect at the time.
Yeah, you were searching around. He's an unrestricted free agent.
No, he just got signed by Vancouver.
Oh no, he got signed by Vancouver. Okay,
Anyways, they thought that Noah Juleson was a blue chip defensive prospect, and so they're like, "Well, we don't need 2 of those." And it's like, well, maybe 2 is good.
Maybe 5 is good. Yeah. Maybe 8 is good.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what do you think? Like every trade deadline. What's your biggest need? Oh yeah, we need a good number 4 defenseman.
Insider story. Montreal passed on Quinn Hughes because, quote, well, it's not actually a quote, but it's a friend of mine that is in the know. Yeah. They already had a small defenseman in Victor Mete. We don't need 2 small defensemen. And all small defensemen are the same small defenseman.
Yeah.
Victor Mete, who just got not qualified by the juggernaut Ottawa Senators. All right, let's move on from the Montreal Canadiens talk before we piss off everybody else. Toronto manages to get rid of Peter Mrazek for losing 13 places in the draft.
And they get praised for it. Way to go. Way to go. You moved down 13 spots to get rid of a goalie.
Toronto currently has no goalies on the team Cal Shelgren or Shelgren or whatever. Come on, like they've got no goalies on the team.
Right.
We'll get into that, I suppose, come free agency talk.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot of money. It was a lot of contract for Peter Mrazek.
It was.
So I you know what? I fall under the category of praising them for it.
Why? Why do you praise them for it? It was a bad signing.
It was a bad signing. You're right.
And it was a bad signing when it was done.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah,
I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm just I would have praised. Okay. It would have been easier to praise him for it if it wasn't the same GM that did the signing. Like if this was like Lamoriello signing and then
But this is like an episode of Gilligan's Island or Scooby-Doo. Right. He screws everything up and then he fixes it all and it's like, oh, you're the hero.
Yeah.
What? Like what? Come on. No. I can't believe that he was universally praised for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now
I hope nobody remembers who signed him.
What was the strength of the Toronto Maple Leafs for the last 5 years?
Goaltending.
But
just kidding.
That's good though. No, it was their young players. It was what they had coming up the pipeline.
Exactly.
And now not so much.
Toronto has had more players picked up on waivers in the last 5 years than any other team. Mm-hmm. And it's because, like you said, the strength of those players coming up.
But you don't know what Rasmus Sandin is yet.
No, you don't. You don't know what Rasmus Sandin is.
You don't know what Timothy Liljegren is yet.
Okay, the cat. The Brinkat.
The Brinkat.
Yes. Yeah. The big cat.
Yeah. What was
that? Tiny cat. The house cat that scores a lot of goals.
He does.
Yeah. I almost said went to Chicago. Went to the Ottawa Senators for a decent package of picks.
Yeah, it was.
But you got to think that there's other teams that would have been happy to do that. A 7th overall, a 39th overall, and a 2024 third pick.
Yep.
Third round pick.
Yep.
So this is one of these ones where it's weird for both teams for me. Because Chicago, what are you guys doing?
Right.
You've still got Taves and Kane, and there seems to not be clarity in terms of reset, retool, rebuild, whatever the word you want to use on it. There doesn't seem to be clarity there. And for Ottawa,
there's lots of clarity in Chicago. They are in the Bumble for Berard sweepstakes.
Well,
they are firmly the front runners in the Bozo for Berard sweepstakes at this
Bedard.
point. Why did I say Berard?
Why interviewed him.
Why did I say that?
I don't know.
Bozo for Bedard sweepstakes.
Yeah. I think, and then the other side of it is that Ottawa, like I just made fun of teams for having this attitude, but they already have a lot of really talented, undersized players.
Yeah.
This wasn't what they needed. I don't know that DeBrincat scores 40 goals.
Probably
surrounded
not.
by what? Tim Stützle?
Yeah.
Because who's doing the dirty work? Look, I love the fact that, like I said with Logan Cooley, like I said with Trevor Zegras, I like the fact that the mold is getting thrown out and these younger guys are given some breathing room in the NHL. But for crying out loud, like you got, like somebody's got to go to the boards sooner or later.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the amount of tiny guys that can win a board battle is limited to Brendan Gallagher. Mm-hmm. It is him and him alone. And after that, you've got to be over 6'2" to win the board battle. I'd say.
Yeah, okay.
Anyways, so I don't know what Ottawa's doing. It seems like such a bizarre thing. Like it just seems like if you've got a car collection and you've got like 4 Lamborghini Countaches, you're not going around going, oh boy, get me a Lamborghini Countach.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and from Chicago's point of view, like if you're Seth Jones, you're standing there going, what?
Well, and that's what I mean when I say the clarity with Chicago, because he just signed that contract last year.
Right.
That was Chicago's indicator of saying, we're going for it again. And then they just...
I'm just reading tea leaves here, but...
Yeah.
I mean, Taves and Kane are on the last year of their deals.
Yeah. Put me on a cup contender at the trade deadline.
Or before.
Yeah.
Like, why would you... Like, if you're going to tear it down the way they're tearing it down...
Yep.
Then tear it down.
Yep.
Tear it down.
Yep.
Because Kane and Taves aren't going to be interested in coming back after next year, unless it's a legacy thing. Unless Taves says, "Yeah, I really want to be a Chicago Blackhawk for life."
I can see Taves doing it.
Yeah.
I don't see Kane doing that.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, all due respect to Taves, like Kane's got a lot more to give.
Kane's got 1,000 times more to give. Kane is still he's an elite winger in the NHL.
Yeah, no, I know.
He's an absolutely elite winger who drives offense for a line.
But what I'm saying is that Taves could be looking at his career and saying, it's winding down anyways.
Exactly.
I finished it off. And, whereas Kane, he turns around and he goes, I'm still, I could still be a top line winger on a Stanley Cup team.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Georgiev to the Avalanche for a bucket of picks, 3rd round pick and a 5th round pick, and then a 2023 3rd round pick.
Good return for the Rangers, I think, and a very, very, very good trade for Colorado.
The word on the street was that the Rangers wanted more for Georgiev. They wanted a roster player, a pick, and a prospect, whatever. Classic trifecta that every team is going for. There's one little hiccup here, which is that Georgiev is, how should I put this? Not good.
I don't think he's not good.
So, okay,
I think he's not great.
Here's what I struggle with. With Georgiev. He had flashes of being decent when he was backing up Lundqvist.
Right.
Then Shesterkin came in, took over the net, rightfully so. And Georgiev has looked like an absolute bozo every time that he steps into the net since Shesterkin has come in. Now, is that because between the ears he is completely screwed and he needs a fresh start and needs I guess I'm just basically saying I could be wrong here. There could be some a mitigating factor, which is that, and I could be wrong here. Right.
Yeah.
But Georgiev, man, I don't think I've seen any goalie in the NHL let more goals through 5-hole.
Right.
Than Georgiev this year. And it's not to say, I don't like it when people go, 5-hole week or this week, but it is to say that it's little things for him. It's he doesn't drive his knees to the ice, right? The most important thing for a goalie decisively, not the most important thing, but a very important thing is that when that shot's coming and you have determined that you're going into the butterfly, drive those knees to the ice. Okay. You don't fall, you drive them to the ice.
I see. Okay.
And he's let in goals 5-hole because he's not driving them to the ice.
Okay.
This is day one stuff. And what it suggests double, triple, quadruple guessing what's going on. And so what should have been an easy save because it went into your bread basket after you drove your knees to the ice is going through his legs while he's still falling.
Okay.
It's little stuff like this that really makes me concerned about Georgiev. But look, I was wrong about Kemper. I said that the Colorado Avalanche, I said that Kemper wasn't good enough to win. Right. But then the Colorado Avalanche just said he is if he doesn't get any shots.
Exactly.
So maybe Georgiev doesn't get any shots.
Yeah, like if in the 3rd period of Game 6, we just don't let Tampa touch the puck, it's going to be really hard for them to score.
Yeah.
So we're going to win. I think, the Colorado Avalanche just won the Stanley Cup with a goalie who posted the worst save percentage of the salary cap era. Right. So why would you overspend on a goalie?
Yeah.
Why would you overspend?
Yeah. Because a third, a fifth, and a third, 2/3 and a fifth is squat.
Yeah.
Diddly squat.
Yeah.
Last trade to talk about, I think it's the last big one on the list, is Ryan McDonagh from the Tampa Bay Lightning to the Nashville Predators for Philip Myers and Grant Mismash.
Mismatch. It's a mismatch. And they've got a mishmash of players.
Yeah.
Ryan
McDonagh.
Salary dump.
Yeah, I know. But you know what?
Maybe they can keep Palat now. Maybe they can keep Palat.
Ryan McDonagh, and this is my hot take, and it's based a lot more on deployment and eye test than it is numbers and all the rest of it. I think McDonagh might have been the best defenseman on the Lightning in this playoffs.
Might have been. When they won the cup the first year?
Yeah.
John Cooper said he was like a Conn Smythe candidate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this year,
he's not gonna age well. He's gonna break down.
Yeah.
But this was just Tampa getting things in order.
Yeah.
So that they can try and keep their team together.
Yeah.
Although he was a big part of that team. He was a huge part of that team.
Huge part of that team.
And it was part of the reason why they lost their 3rd line last year, because it took them 10 years to get their defense the way it was.
Yeah.
And now they've got to say, okay, you know what? I think if they win the cup this year, they don't make that trade. Maybe they do. I don't know.
It's a tough one to say, but I really think that this is like, last year they lost the third line.
Yeah.
I think this hurts more. I think that's the difference between a kick in the shin and a kick in the nuts.
Right.
One, you go, and you grab your shin. The other one, you're just down and out for the count. Like I really, I mean, look, Hedman is a specimen. He is a specimen that can play 25 to 30 minutes a night if you want him to. You'd want to rest him in the regular season if you plan on doing that in the playoffs. Hedman is a specimen, but like McDonough took a lot of heavy lifting.
He did. And so now you're saying, okay, who's going to do that? Is it going to be Ruda? Is it going to be Chernak? Is Cal Foote going to make the progress that we hope he's going to make? That kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Chernak was his partner for much of the playoffs, was McDonough's partner.
Yeah.
And so is Chernak now able to be the guy that carries that pairing as opposed to McDonough carrying that pairing? And Chernak, not to take anything away from him.
Yeah.
Right. Because he obviously played excellent. But anyways,